If you're a maintenance supervisor for a commercial property, you've had to deal with everything from leaky faucets to flickering light bulbs. But nothing's worse than that ancient boiler that's lived in the building since the day it was built, 50 years ago. It's enough to make anyone lose their cool. That's where Grainger comes in. With industrial-grade products and dependable fast delivery, Grainger can help with any challenge, from worn-out components to everyday necessities. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome to the Patriot Barbie podcast. This show is made possible by Spreely Media. Download the Freedom Hub app today and join the free speech movement. I want to thank the people and the companies that keep my show going. All my sponsors can be found on patriotbarbie.com on my shop page. Century H2O, water systems for your home that provide clean, toxic-free, fluoride-free, and pharmaceutical-free drinking water for your family and pets for under $300. Dylan's Restaurants has been a proud podcast partner for years, and the owner is my personal friend. With 4 locations throughout Arizona, you'll always find one to dine at and love, especially the zoo. Well, especially the ranch. Well, maybe the one floating on Lake Pleasant. Dang it, they're all good. Support your freedom-loving businesses, and please check out Dylan's Restaurants. Small business owners, claim your employee retention tax credit for 2020 and 21 with an accountant you can trust. If you don't know what this is, you could be missing out on hundreds of thousands of dollars. Go to patriotbarbie.com and click on my partners page to read up. My Freedom Cart, a conservative-owned, made-in-America, toxic-free company that lets you shop online and delivers everything to your front door. Clean products, proteins, snacks, hair care, makeup, toiletries. Dude, ditch Amazon, keep the perks, and support a pro-life and pro-freedom company. myfreedomcart.com. My Beautiful Smile is brought to you by Dr. Daniel Slyke. His dental team is passionate, detailed, gentle, and clearly very talented. My entire smile has been restored to stunning, and I owe it all to him. He's right here in Scottsdale, and consults are free. Go to patriotbarbie.com, look him up, and schedule your free consultation. Are you worried about spike proteins? If not, you should be. Get the spike formula developed by experts like Dr. Peter McCullough from the Wellness Company by going to twc.health/PatriotBarbie. Listeners of my podcast can use code PatriotBarbie at checkout for a discount. You guys, once again, you can find all my partners, my makeup line, my Patriot Wine, my merch company, and the Freedom Cart at patriotbarbie.com under the shop page. Now, are you ready to get started? Let's go. Welcome to the Patriot Barbie podcast. I'm your host, Lindsey Graham, author and conservative activist. I love Jesus. I love America. I'm a proud wife, mom of 3, and I'm having bold and witty conversations with America's patriots, the ones that cancel culture desperately want to blacklist. Trust me, I've been there. In 2020, I defied government lockdowns in Oregon, reopened my salon, and became an icon of freedom. I've been targeted by government and raging liberals every day since, and I refuse to back down. Patriots, I'm here to tell you, your values are worth fighting for. The Patriot Barbie podcast starts now. Welcome to the Patriot Barbie podcast, you guys. Today I have Mell Berks. That's her stage name. It's almost like no, she's not a drag queen.
No, oh God, no. Although I did get a troll telling me that my makeup was somewhat like that.
Listen,
like that.
These trolls, I swear.
Oh,
if you get your lips done,
God love them.
If you get your lips done like I do, then they'll make fun of you for getting your lips done.
Yeah.
I had a follower sticking up for me, and
I love it.
She had thin lips, and they were making fun of her thin lips. I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah, you can't win.
What's the perfect lip size for you guys? You tell us all so that we all know what the perfect lips is so that you don't make fun of us.
Yeah, right, exactly.
It's insane.
It's like that you could quote what is it, Forrest Gump, stupid is as stupid does.
Yeah.
So we're not getting around this. We're just not, no matter what you do.
And if you were to go and take that same rationale and apply it back, like, hey, you have 50 face piercings and blue hair and you're 400 pounds overweight, they're like, you're hateful. And wait, but you can make fun of my lips.
Yeah, it's a one-way street.
Totally.
One-way street.
God love them, because we don't.
Well, God, let's pray for them. That's all I say. Like every day I wake up and it's like, who needs my prayer and who needs my soft heart to kind of send out those vibes into the world? And that's how I start the day, because again, it's almost, I feel like we're at a capacity where it's not changeable. I hate to say that because I don't want to sound like I've lost hope, but it's almost unchangeable. They have played us against each other so much that it's, it's this new way of life, and it's been conditioned for so long, over so many years, in so many capacities, whether it's academia or even in churches. How do you erase this? Is like becoming the culture.
Yeah, it is.
So it's sad and frustrating all at once, but.
And you're right. There is a lot of lack of hope in the world, but in this world, you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world. So it is. I just think I'm glad you have a peaceful, calm, like wake up and pray for them. Cause I'm like, get up.
No, well, you know what?
Christian.
I do have a piece of that. I'm not going to lie. I always say, don't mistake my kindness for weakness. And everybody has a hot button. That's right. I think when that hot button is pushed, regardless of who you are, you're going to react.
What's your hot button?
Oh God, I think it's just falsification of, professionally, falsification of science and data and cover up. That's my hot button, 100% when it comes to professionally. Personally, I just think, and it kind of rolls into what I just said, is really just dishonesty and malice. Yeah. Like, how does that even have space in this world? It just doesn't.
Misinformation. It does make sense though. You're a nurse. You work with science and data and facts, and that saves people's lives, and the wrong ones will take people's lives. So,
which there's a lot of them. Yeah. That swallowed all the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So are you still a nurse now?
I am. Okay. I am. And I'll elaborate. I'll just kind of hit the rewind button and just bring you a little forward as fast as I can to where I am now. When the pandemic hit, I was a 5-year experienced nurse in the emergency room setting. And I was predominantly the triage nurse in that role. As patients came in, I moved them through quickly, identified what, their acuity level, meaning how severe their illness was. And I would designate the area in which they needed to go to for the appropriate care and how fast that care was going to happen. I was also the first nurse in our hospital and in our unit to contract COVID in back of 2020. And I was put out for an extensive period of time. Not that I hadn't gotten better. It's because they didn't know enough to allow me to come back at that time to know if I was still contagious or whatever. They just didn't know anything about it. So I was kind of like that one nurse that had to stay out a little longer than probably necessary.
I love that you say they didn't know much about it, because at the time they were telling everyone else, like, we know everything, this is deadly and la, la, la.
Yeah, no. And then when I did return, I want to say I missed that first bulk of wave because I was out sick. But when I came back, the lingering effects were still there, which mimicked and replicated that first bulk, if that makes any sense. So needless to say, I did get to experience what others experienced in that capacity in terms of intubation and life-saving measures, and for myself, questioning of what is going on here. I vividly remember a young doctor, wet behind his ears sort of doctor. And let me just preface it with this. When we marry old knowledge with new knowledge in medicine, it's almost like a great recipe in many cases, because we can come together and collaborate and make a plan, which that stopped and halted, I will say, moving forward from through all of this. But this young doctor comes running down the hallway. I had a patient who was struggling. Her pulse ox was dropping. She had all of those comorbid diseases. But she was very, very adamant that she did not want intubation at that time. She had a family member die from intubation on a ventilator, unrelated to it all, but that I guess scared her, and she didn't want to take that route. And this doctor forced it. And he said, I'm going to quote, "They are telling us early intubation. They are telling us," well, who is they is what I said. Let's just step it back and say, who is they? Yep. And that's what I asked him. And he said, he referenced another hospital, larger hospital within our system. Cause everything is turned over to being a business in medicine, and it's a system of healthcare.
Yeah.
And that was it. And he came in and he convinced her to go onto the ventilator. And so that's the dynamic of what I was faced with at the bedside, with an ethical component. And also, let me just tidbit, I was part of the ethics committee in the first hospital I worked in, which, by the way, there is no more ethics committee.
Shocking.
Yeah.
So what happened with that lady?
She was intubated, and, unfortunately, in an emergency room capacity, they are shifted off to the receiving nurse and intensive care unit. And then you really don't, unless I really dug into patients' charts and saw where they went, which I did refrain from, because truly you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Once that patient's, I mean, theoretically, if you had something to contribute, if you had within 24 hours to go back in and make an addendum to something that you did and you didn't document, that sort of thing, you had that 24-hour window to do under, the hospital policy, whatever. But I was kind of like a do and chart as you go kind of nurse. So my job was done, and I hung my hat when it was done and that patient was moved on to the next phase.
Okay.
Yeah. So from that point forward, we then started to have the rollout of the carrot. And again, I call it the carrot because there were so many things that I call the dangling carrot in that arena that I worked in terms of bonus pay and extra shifts and help out the team. And, I didn't sign up for the Yankees. I'm not being paid like that. So I'm not, I am devoted to my job and my patients. But first and foremost, I'm devoted to God and what he tells my heart to do. And there's a lot going on here that I have question about, and I have the right to question.
That's right.
Oh, it's free. It's to the medical field first. And everyone, they're going to bring it in and you can get what you want, as much as you want. You can mix it. And I'm like, whoa. I took a minute, I took a breath, and I said, let me reflect on where I came from. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that this is a poison made from, and we're going to touch upon this, the tissue of aborted field demised babies.
Yeah.
And I grew up in a home, and my mom to this day is a very strong pro-life advocate. She does sidewalk counseling. In fact, I just got a text yesterday. She said, praise the Lord, we had 16 saves this month.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's in Sarasota, Florida. And she does that every Tuesday. She counsels young girls trying to go into a clinic that is specifically placed by Planned Parenthood in a predominantly African-American community to murder their children.
Shocking. Okay. Do you want to hear my theory on why?
I do.
This is why I believe our culture is the way it is right now, because every single person that God creates from conception, he has a purpose for.
100%.
And 63 million people a year that are supposed to serve a purpose in some of these other people's lives don't exist. Think about what would happen if your mom had aborted you, or if my mom had aborted me. And I like to think I'm making a difference in the world, right? I actually can tell you right now that I've saved one person's life for sure. I convinced a drug addict to stop doing drugs. So there you go. There's let's say nothing else. That's my purpose. What would happen if I wasn't there? Who is she, and who is she going to go on to be? The reason our society sucks so bad is because the people that are supposed to be making a difference right now got murdered by their own mothers however many years ago.
Yeah, sadly, because I truly believe they're scared or misinformed. And, my husband taught me a long time ago, what are the two things that motivate people in this world? And it's pleasure and fear. And those are the two foundational pillars of motivation. And definitely our government hung their hat on the fear element.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So moving forward, the carrot rolled out and we were all educated. No, I'll be honest with you. The majority, and without doing a case study, the majority of nurses were very apprehensive. The majority. And I think there was a case study. I don't want to misspeak. I don't have the data right in front of me, but it was something like 60% of nurses were not really for it out of the gates.
Okay.
That's 60%. That's 60 out of 100 nurses who care for your loved ones at the bedside said, I'm not sure about this.
Good. I mean, that's what I believe.
Yeah. But however, of the fear came in.
Yeah.
And very quickly through my hospital, now I'm just also I live a very holistic life. I believe in modern medicine. I believe in marrying the two after you've exhausted all natural measures of everything. Then go for the Botox to deal with your migraines, because quality over quantity sometimes is important to recognize. So that's where I stand with that. But it's after you've exhausted all the measures. And moving through the channels of exemption, I always adhere to spiritual exemption. Again, it's about a play on words. When I teach young nurses, I said, nursing today is not always about learning that skill set right out of the gates or learning. It's about learning the law. You need to know the law as a nurse, and you need to know the law to protect your patients and to protect you and to protect your license. It's a trifecta. It's a threefold effect. So because I knew the law, and I love to read about law and constitution, and people have said to me, Mel, you've gotten the wrong profession. You really should have been an attorney. I said, yeah, but I wasn't that smart in school. So I don't think I would have been able to pass the exams. So whatever. So with that said, the nurses started to flock to me. Not only nurses, I have helped hundreds and hundreds of people through social media, just reaching out to me, complete strangers. You were directed to me to help, please. My son is a senior in college. He's on a full baseball scholarship. He's not allowed to play. He's not going to finish college. We can't pay for it. He's on scholarship. What do I do?
Yeah.
So I referred him to the documentation with, Robert Kennedy. Was it the children's, I'll get it to you. I forget offhand. I'm at a loss. Peter McCullough, Dr. Peter McCullough, those people I linked in with very early on. Again, the grace of God, you know how things just kind of shoot onto your feed. And then if you follow it and go down the rabbit hole and actually read studies, Johns Hopkins has hundreds upon hundreds of studies you can read about data. And if you do that, you're going to be well informed. So I was able to access all these documents, legal documents, and I was able to forward them to these people, and it helped them. And it was kind of my, I guess, claim to fame in the
You're like the nurse attorney.
Yeah, it's a weird place to be in, but it also kind of labeled me. I shouldn't say kind of, it labeled me. And then I started encountering the gaslighting and just the pushback and the hostility and the badgering at my job. And I was not going to back down in the capacity that I was going to fold and do what a lot of nurses did. I had them run up to me and they're like, I know you tried to help me, but I just got it. I'm like, well, that's, I don't stand in judgment over you. If you took all the information available to you and that was what you felt best for your life, then by all means. However, I'm not comfortable with it. And I'm putting a stop box. So anyway, that went on. I started being faced with administration in the hallways. I had taken a day off of work. I was off of work, and I went to this informational session on my own time, unpaid, with a panel of physicians in our hospital to tell us the efficacy and the safety of the carrot, because there was hesitancy right out of the gates.
I love the code word, the carrot. I've just figured out what the carrot is.
Well, you got to figure that you dangle the carrot in front of somebody's house. So let's talk about, the coercion factor, and really it's blackmail. You dangle a carrot in front of somebody's face for blackmail. Here's your job, or you lose your life. Take the carrot or lose your life. That's how I came up with that analogy, because it's so true. Yeah. Again, and it's what really was the icing on the cake, and why I left. I said I had enough. They dangle the carrot of overtime help the team. We're so short staffed, blah, blah, blah. And by the way, our hospital.
You're a team player.
Yeah, team player. And then they didn't pay me. So for those extra hours that I put in, I want to say it was about $1,400 and change that they owed me. And that was the icing on the cake. And still to this day, I haven't been paid. And I'm gone almost 2 years. Yeah, I've sent out numerous emails. My take on it is, I'm a nurse. I come in, I clock in, I do my job for 12 hours. I run around here, grit and grind. I don't pee, I don't eat. Again, that's another element. We have no breaks. We were told we couldn't have any open containers to drink from or anything. Even if you had a lid on it, you couldn't do that.
It just got so ridiculous. With the requirements. So it's like they were making it up as they go. I remember.
Absolutely.
We're going to laugh about this one day. I remember that all the gas stations put like Scotch tape around the fountain sodas. It's like nobody can pour a fountain soda. Was there COVID coming out of it? Like,
I know.
I'm not bringing in my own cup. You're providing the cups. So what are you doing to spread COVID through fountain sodas? Like,
you're right. It is true. And the stickers on the floor and just everything was just absolutely absurd. I had taken a walk after I was getting better before I went back to work. I had taken a walk just to get fresh air. And I ran into a neighbor who was a teacher in the school system, all up in arms and scared about all of this. And we got into conversation and I knew the writing was on the wall because here I was, I'm 50 years old. So I was of the age that it was a patient that would go either way. Like either they were going to swirl down the drain on the ventilator or they were going to make it off, And I did have women my age that didn't make it, that were put on a vent and they may have been a little overweight, but not any other issues. Right. And they didn't make it. So when I overcame the illness myself, granted, I have long COVID issues and stuff that's not, you live with it. My outlook is this is how our ecosystem works and it will never change. Because if it's not this one, there will be another one and another one. Just like back to the era of polio and that, it's not going to change, people. You cannot run. I said this from the start. You can't run from a virus. You can't run from it. So day one of like, it's here. I'm like, what are we going to do? Like, it's here. It's here. You can't, there's nothing really. Yeah.
Not God. And then when they had stay home, stay safe, I was like, whoa, now you actually think that you can control a virus, A, and you think that you've convinced us that we believe you can control a virus.
And you're a scientific critical thinker. Oh, no, not okay.
Yeah.
So, running into this teacher in the school system, she said, she goes, you don't believe what Fauci's recommending? I said, not one bit. Now, I'm telling you, this is March of 2020. March of 2020,
right in the
very early on. And, and people were really diving into what he had to say and recommended. Mask, no mask, mask. I knew it was all crap. And then I had a nurse practitioner on my unit say the same thing to me. And I said, nope. I just talked to a previous colleague a couple of days ago. And I said, I just wish I was a fly on the wall in that emergency room right now. A, because I was the legal go-to. Yeah. I was able to, verse everything that they needed to have to defend them. And B, I just want to hear them say, oh, she was right.
Yeah, I know. Someday, I will say, you will get like, where's the word for it? Validation.
Right. Well, you know what? I already have it, truly, and so do you. We have it. I don't need it because I know in my own brain and in my heart and the way the Lord talks to my soul, I am 100% and have been 100% right. Yeah. So I don't really need the validation. I
had a Democratic friend who,
I got lots of them.
Oh my gosh. We've managed to keep our friendship. She's probably the only one of two Democrats I'm friends with.
Right.
And we try not to talk politics too much.
Right.
But there came a time where she texted me and she goes, I am so sorry that I was not there for you during this and this time of your life. I see now how wrong that was. Mm-hmm. Like, oh my God. It was like Joe Rogan at the MMA fight. Yeah. Beautiful. So we got to get wrapped up, but tell me,
okay.
What is...
So now that when I left, I prayed really hard because we were marrying our daughter off in a wedding.
Did you
in
say
Florida?
My
daughter off.
You said daughter. I heard it. Is that a Jersey accent?
No, it's not. Yeah, I guess maybe. So yes, we were marrying her off and I was coming home to like no job. Again, I just prayed, I left it in God's hand, and this wonderful opportunity came out to me. The Jasper Spine Institute. He is a wonderful, independent, not associated with any healthcare organization or big business healthcare entity. And he is a heaven sent man in terms of how he cares for us nurses, us staff. He does not legalize on us. You know what a legalization is like through biblical speakings.
Yeah.
Any of the hogwash, never did, never bothered us. And we just go to work and we have a wonderful environment and I just have peace. And I can't explain anything else. The other fold of that is I started a event and I dove into floristry because I love science and nursing is always art and science married together. So I dove into floristry and researched everything. And I have a very artistic side. And so I have been working with brides and designing their events. And I have been doing all their florals. And it's just, I'm so grateful for the marrying of both because I still get to be a nurse and I still get to be a caregiver in that capacity. I still get to use all the knowledge that I worked so hard for with Jasper Spine Institute. And I also get to explore an entrepreneurial, artistic side. And I get to communicate and just like really love on people and just show a different dynamic than the horribleness of stuff that we've lived with for the last 3 years.
So good. So what you're saying is the message is, people, when you speak up and speak truth, God will always provide you.
He will bless your life so much. Yeah, he will bring you, if nothing else, he will bring you peace.
That's right.
And I don't think you can put a price on that because I don't make a lot of money now at all. Nope. And I don't care about that. I mean, if I can keep a roof over our heads and, harmony in our home, I'm blessed and I don't need anything else,
That's right.
So.
Thank you for sharing your story. I love it.
Yes.
I'm going to have everybody have your links to follow you in our description, but just right off the bat.
Could I just ask you, because I have been blessed so much, and I know that questionnaire had mentioned, who handles social media, all that, whatever. And I answered, I don't really have any. I would like to just give respect and appreciation to the Jasper Spine Institute in New Jersey here. And if anyone needs a true, real doctor of integrity, he's your man. And not only does he help, he's completely against any sort of prescription writing. He does not write scripts for pain at all. He's interventional pain management, and he cures people. He gets to the root cause of your pain and he fixes it. And he doesn't make a lot of money.
That's amazing. So support him.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah. He's brought me through.
We'll put that in the description too.
Okay.
All right. Thanks.
Well, you're the best.
Yours. You got.
Oh yes, I remembered, but
I'm using my husband's mug, so it says Team Dad. So apparently, I'm transgender today.
Oh, that's fine. You can be
way more delicious than what
you can be anything you want to be.
That's right.
A cat.
Dad.
A cat. Yeah. Well, I have my nurse life and a little iced coffee because I don't do alcohol.
I know. I should have done iced coffee. It's like cold now. So, all right, what are we cheering to?
Oh my goodness. I'm going to cheers to gratitude. On God over my life and gracing my heart with the belief and truth that he has put in my soul to spread to the world.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for tuning in to the Patriot Barbie podcast. Follow me on Truth Social at the Patriot Barbie and Instagram at the.patriot.barbie. Subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast with your friends. You can find this show, my book Targeted, and my apparel line on www.patriotbarbie.com. God bless America and God bless you.
Are you worried about spike proteins and how they may impact your health? Are you looking for help? The Wellness Company has an answer in the form of our clean, pure, all-natural spike formula developed by experts like Dr. Peter McCullough. The Wellness Company's spike formula includes the incredible nattokinase, dandelion root, black sativa extract, green tea, and iris sea moss. Even better, the spike formula by the Wellness Company is vegan, gluten-free, and made right here in the U.S., so you know that you can trust and rely on it if you're concerned about spike proteins.